Hello, folks. I'm OdinSpack, and welcome back to 33 years and counting of my favorite games. This is part 6, the year 2017. 2017 saw the launch of the Nintendo Switch, pretty important console for Nintendo. It's probably been one of their most successful ever. Also, 2017 saw me play for the first time some games I'm like, how have I never played these before, such as Final Fantasy VII and Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, two series I'm pretty I like a lot, pretty familiar with. I was streaming with my bro Cyphron over on our Bros Twitch channel, which had started at the end of 2016. It kind of had more steam, I would say, in 2017. It was a fun time, but if this list was about games that I played in 2017, much different list. Also, I wouldn't even remember most. I do remember those because those were really fun playthroughs. Um, but we're going to talk about my honorable mentions for games released in 2017. So there's actually more on here than there has been in past videos, so we'll try and lightning round these. First off, a really obscure one. America's Greatest Game Shows, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Madame Wario got this for me for my birthday one year, and I really like Wheel of Fortune. I like Jeopardy. I didn't think I would play it as much as I have, but it's one of my most played games on the Switch, particularly Wheel of Fortune. Jeopardy I haven't played that much, but Wheel of Fortune, I play this all the time. Just kind of whenever I like pick up my Switch and I need something to do, I'll play Wheel of Fortune. Not as much lately, but definitely when I got it, and definitely when I go on trips and stuff. This is usually my go-to game just to play a round of Wheel of Fortune. Doki Doki Literature Club. I did a let's play of this. Some people aren't too fond of it, I've seen, because I didn't react the way that they wanted me to, or I didn't read the dialogue through. But I do appreciate the game. It's a really neat visual novel. I'd never played the genre before. I didn't know what to expect. I was only told play the game. And those are honestly the best kind of games where you don't know anything going into it. I was legit scared to play this game at one point where I had to stop recording it. It's ridiculous, but it was a lot of fun, and it was free. I ended up buying the not so free version, and I haven't even played that one yet. Fire Emblem Heroes, speaking of another free game, well, free. It's a mobile game, so they want you to spend money on it. I think I actually did once, but it was because I was donated to buy gems in the game or orbs or what orbs, that's the currency. But I want to give mention of this because I really love the Fire Emblem series, and it was fun to play a free to play that was like has all the different characters from different games in the series. It's a very fast-paced Fire Emblem because it's on the phone, so scenarios don't take very long. I enjoyed playing through the very first, not chapters, book is how it's done. First season basically. I really enjoyed that. I didn't get into it too much after that. They added like way too many mechanics, but at launch I really did enjoy it, so I want to mention that. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I'm briefly mentioning here. We'll mention it later with the original release, but I want to briefly mention it because it's the one I'm still playing. And honestly, if this didn't exist, I would probably be playing Mario Kart 8 on Wii U still. It's just they've added so much, especially with the new DLC, which is actually really cool. Um, I love Mario Kart 8, so Deluxe is worth mentioning. And then Splatoon 2 which actually is the game that we got with our Switch when we bought it. I know a lot of people love Splatoon 2. This one didn't hook me too much. 1 or 2 didn't really. I did want to mention it only because it was my first Switch game, and I enjoyed the concept of Splatoon, and I would love to get into it more, but I don't really have too much more to say on this. I did enjoy it for the brief time that I did play it, however. So there you go. There's my honorable mentions. Nothing too stand out there, I don't feel, as far as I feel. Let's go into bronze medal with Blaster Master Zero. This is the first in the trilogy. I actually, since recording this, started picking up Blaster Master Zero 3 again, so this opinion may change. But I feel even though I'm pretty sure I said before that Blaster Master Zero Two was my favorite in the trilogy so far. I loved Blaster Master Zero when it came out, because it was a reboot of the original game up to modern standards. It wasn't just a reboot; it was like a retelling. Uh, and I really loved Blaster Master on NES. It was one of those games where I think I'd only played the original like a year before, like I think in 2016, for the first time, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, guess what? We're rebooting the series." I was like, "Oh, perfect timing." So I played this on the 3DS. It was a Switch launch title, but it also launched on the 3DS. And because I didn't have a Switch at launch, that's how I played it. Again, I'm gonna say 3DS one more time. But I loved it. It was a lot of fun. Had a cool ending. And the series has been a lot of fun. And honestly, if you just like it's Metroidvania light. Honestly, it's not like super intense as far as Metroidvanias go. It's more of like a straightforward playthrough and collect the power ups along the way. Kind of like Rad Gravity. But I definitely recommend it. There's a trilogy pack you can get. And I think these usually go on sale on the Switch for super cheap. So buy it when it goes on sale. Don't buy it at full price. They go on sale all the time. My silver medal game, it could easily be gold, but I'm saying silver, and that's The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I got this on launch on my Wii U. Of course, it came out on Switch later, which I would also get it on. I think I got it for Christmas that year because I was like, I'm not buying this again. I'll just ask for it for Christmas because I want to play it on the Switch. But I never finished this game, and it's my silver medal. And let me tell you why it's my silver medal. I love open world games where you can kind of just do whatever you want and enjoy the world and experience the quests at your own pace and do the main story at your own pace. I would love to actually finish the main story one day, and I've given it a couple tries, but every time I do, it just ends up being me fooling around in the world again. And honestly, that's my favorite part of the game. A lot of people say like a lot of it as like empty because like open world games have that kind of feel to it where it's like, oh, you're not doing anything, but that's like one of my favorite parts. It's just like the world is a playground and you can kind of just experience it at your own pace. The Great Plateau at the beginning was like one of my favorite parts of the game. Just experiencing that before you get the glider, just like getting around that area without it, because you don't even know that's a thing. Or maybe I did. Maybe I knew you got one later, but just like knocking down trees and like walking over them to cross gaps at the beginning, and just they give you like all the tools to have fun with the world right at the beginning with the runes. I don't know if that's what they're called, but like the different powers where you have like the bombs and the magnesis and stuff like that. They give you all those tools like right at the beginning. They introduce those in the Great Plateau, and then from there it's just like, okay, kind of take on the world at your own pace, and it's a really fun game. Saying all this now makes me want to go back and try and finish it. And honestly, I think I will because I'm excited for Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever the heck they ended up calling it. And I would love to give Age of Calamity a shot at some point. So definitely recommend this one. It's not even one I needed to finish to enjoy it as much as I did, but I know that if I did finish it, it possibly could be the gold medal. But speaking of gold medal, let's talk about that now. It's Super Mario Odyssey. We got this on launch as well. I didn't end up playing it, however, until I think a few months after, and then I didn't actually end up playing through it fully until like half a year later or so when I streamed it. Um, this was one of my first streams I did when I started streaming back on my OdinSpack channel. This was after Amiibros. Um, but this, similar to Breath of the Wild, it's very open world in that you can kind of tackle it at your own pace. But it's a little more linear than Breath of the Wild, where there's world to world to world. Um, and like there's only so many things to do before you have to advance. And I was determined, like as I was going along, like, oh, I got to get all the moons before I move on. I got to get all the purple coins before I move on. Because it was just so much fun. The music's great. Moving Mario, like he feels so good to control. We've said this a lot in this series so far, but that's probably my favorite part of video games is when like they control really well. And Mario Odyssey has had like my favorite controlling 3D Mario. And I'm not like a huge fan of 3D platformers. Like I love the genre, but playing them, I always feel burned out on them. And that's probably why when I first played Odyssey, I didn't end up finishing it until I ended up streaming it, and then I was like dedicated to finishing it. But I get burned out on 3D platformers a lot because there's like kind of a lot to do. But Odyssey kept me hooked, especially when I was streaming it. It really kept me hooked, and I wanted to see more. And there was some really cool moments at the end that I won't spoil if you've never played the game before. If you have a Switch and you somehow haven't played this game, you definitely owe it to yourself to pick it up. I'm sure you can probably get it in some sort of deal. Like there's no way you have to pay full price for this now. Buy it used, buy it, uh, at a game store that might have it for cheaper. Just buy it, buy it not for full price. You don't need to now. It's 2022. You don't need to buy it full price now. But it is definitely worth picking up. Did I mention the music's great? I did. It doesn't like graphically look like amazing compared to like Mario 3D World or something like that. Like it is a step up for sure, but it's not like I feel like this game could have been on Wii U and it just wasn't because well, the Wii U didn't sell well and they wanted to put it on a platform that would sell well. But I remember when they advertised the Switch, they kind of briefly showed off this game and people were like, "Oh, what's that new Mario game?" And I don't think we thought too much of it until it finally came out, and it kind of blew our minds away. I'm not editing anything out. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for 2017. Thank you so much for watching. If there are any games that you feel I missed, or any that are your favorites from 2017, or if you agree or disagree with anything I said, please let me know in the comments. I love reading them. I'll respond to them when I can. And I will see you next time for the year 2016. So until then, I've been OdinSpack. Goodbye.